was a swing and a miss. Batman the Killing Joke, released in 2016 and is directed by Sam Liu, who has directed such films like Justice League Gods and Monsters, Justice League vs. Teen Titans, Justice League vs. The Fatal Five, Teen Titans The Judas Contract, and Batman and Harley Quinn. So the guy has directed a lot of good things when it comes to the DC animated world, and also a couple of stinkers. This one being the worst stinker out of all of them. And this film is starring the voices of Tara Strong, Ray Wise, and the returning legendary voices of Batman and Joker, Kevin Conroy, and Mark Hamill. Batman the Killing Joke is based on the graphic novel by Alan Moore of the same name. This night, Joker seems to be going off the rails farther than usual, and has shot and assaulted Barbara Gordon while taking Commissioner Gordon hostage. And while Batman is on the search for clues of finding where Commissioner Gordon is, we have a bunch of flashbacks to who the Joker was before he became the Clown Prince of Crime. Yes, this was really kind of the first time that we got any backstory when it came to the Joker. The Joker has always been this strange enigma, aloof. He's always just kind of been there as this evil person doing evil things that Batman always comes out and fights against. Well, here in the graphic novel and in this film is our chance to see where the Joker comes from and what happened to him. And some pretty dark and sad things do happen to the guy, to the point where an accident happens and everything inside of this just kind of breaks and snaps, and he goes crazy. But that's the second half of this movie and all of the graphic novel, but the first half of this movie is about Batgirl dealing with this chauvinistic pig of a mobster and having sex with Batman. And why that story is in here, I don't know. I honestly could not tell you. And that was the big detriment that I had while watching this movie for the first time. And it's still a huge detriment to this film. This film is not good because the story, what is added onto this, doesn't play into the actual story itself in any way. In any way. Like, it feels like the animators, everyone involved creating this thing, had never read The Killing Joke. Like, they have only heard about The Killing Joke growing up. They're like, oh yeah, The Killing Joke, I know. The one where Joker shoots Barbara, and that's when Barbara becomes Oracle, and we go into the Joker's backstory. I've heard about that. But then when they got the project greenlit, they looked at it and they're like, oh, The Killing Joke is only like 25, 30 pages? That's not enough for a animated feature. Shit. Well, let's come up with a Batgirl story, and we'll have her have sex with Batman to make this rated R, and that'll add to some... No, God, why did I say that? It didn't add to anything. That fucking piece of the fucking movie didn't add to anything here. I believe I mentioned this in my last review, but I actually went to the theater to see this because Batman the Killing Joke I had read many years before seeing this movie, and it's pretty famous, so I was like, oh hey, they're showing it at one of our local theaters. Do you want to go? It'd kind of be fun. Seeing it before it's released on DVD, boy, I feel exclusive. And watching it, I could feel both of us just kind of sinking in our chairs and getting bored and confused as to what was happening, and then not caring as to what is happening. And as we left the theater, I'm pretty sure I remember sitting in the car with her saying, I am sorry for what we just watched. I could have easily just rented or bought this video on DVD or Blu-ray and not drug us to the theater to watch this movie because it definitely wasn't worth it. And here I am watching it again, and it's not worth it at all. I tried to give it a second chance, and it's just terrible. And it's so heartening because here's Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy coming back, who are iconic in the roles of Batman and Joker from Batman the Animated Series. Here they are coming back for this legendary Batman graphic novel, something that Mark Hamill has always wanted to do. And when you think of the Joker's voice, that's who you think of. Everyone initially thinks of Mark Hamill, or Heath Ledger, but mostly Mark Hamill. So giving him the chance to go down this road of the Joker's past, and then having him go to the darkest and disgusting, grossest points that we had ever seen the Joker go to in comics, it was a treat to hear that that was happening. And then we saw it happen, and you go, well, you know, your voice performance is fantastic, Mark Hamill, as always, but again, the story that you're in, it's just, not good. And hell, I kind of feel that way about the graphic novel itself. It's not the best Batman story or Joker story or just story in general. It's just Some iconic images, and there are some good lines in there, but overall it's just, I'd rather read anything else of Batman. But then to attach this 30 minutes of this Batgirl story that has nothing to do with the Killing Joke. Like, you feel the change when it goes from the original work and then to the Alan Moore work. The screen goes black, the music change, and you can see, oh, okay, now we're in the Killing Joke part. What was going on in the first 30 minutes? I love the design of Batgirl in this film, this charcoal black suit with the yellow insignia on it. Love it. I think Tara Strong does a great job of voicing Barbara Gordon. But Brian Azzarello, who wrote this film, I don't know why he had it in his head, but you can just tell, like, you were just obsessed with this idea of having Batgirl have sex with Batman. Like, I want to get to that point. That has to happen. Because, it's rated R, and that's adult, and it's spicy, and I just want to see it and animate it. I don't know if that's how he is in real life, but that's just kind of the vibe I'm getting by watching this movie. And there had been points in Batman animated history, like in the Batman the Animated Series, there had been points where they had hinted at Barbara having feelings for Bruce or having a crush on Batman in some way, shape, or form, but definitely nothing was ever acted on. But here, I guess they felt like they needed to have that act happen, which, it's fine. They're both adults in their characters. They're both drawn characters, but they're both adults in the world that they're in. But it just leaves you wondering, why is this here? This makes no sense. There is no connection to the mobsters that they're going after. Nothing is connected to the Joker or what the Joker does later on. It maybe establishes strong feelings between Batman and Barbara Gordon, so when we get to the Killing Joke and Joker shoots Barbara, it hits here more? It didn't, for me. It's Batman and Batgirl. We already know that they care about each other. Why do you feel the necessity to have them actually kind of have feelings and fall in love with each other and have the awkward moment after sex with each other? Basically, I'm trying to get to the point that the writer of this movie had some type of fantasy growing up that he always wanted to see Batgirl and Batman get together and have sex with each other. And here it is. I'm writing The Killing Joke, and now I have my opportunity to write it into a script so I can see it animated on screen and watch it in the privacy of my own room. That has to be how that got approved and how it happened. Because if that's not, why else would this be in this movie? This was one of the biggest disappointments in any film, animated film, direct-to-DVD film, theatrical release film that I've ever experienced. A story, a book that had such fame around it, and I remember seeing interviews with Mark Hamill saying, I'd only come back to voice the Joker again if I was doing The Killing Joke. I've always wanted to do that. And to see him actually come back and do it, and do a good job, granted, but to see him have to deal with being a part of this story is so disheartening. This movie is not good at all. It's good at capturing some of the imagery from the iconic comic, but in terms of like creating a full-length animated feature on this 25, 30-page graphic novel, they didn't do good. I don't think there will be a DC animated feature worse than this movie. That is how bad this thing is. I'm gonna give Batman The Killing Joke 1 out of 5 Blu-rays.
What? No!
Alright everyone, we are continuing on our Batman week, and I'm going to be releasing my ranking of all of the theatrically released Batman films on Friday for the release of The Batman. But before we do, we're going to look at one more animated Batman feature, and it's actually a two-parter that I'm going to be doing one review for. It's called Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Probably, arguably, the greatest Batman story arc and graphic novel ever. Really the one that turned Batman into the version of Batman that we have today. Frank Miller had just drawn Daredevil, and he was like, let me give Batman a try. They're both similar characters. And changed the Dark Knight from being this, haha, I'm going after the bad guy person, to a man so devoted to darkness and vengeance and grief and solitude that you want to see Batman suffer now in comics, because he has to. So we'll check out Batman Dark Knight Returns next time. So guys, if you've seen Batman The Killing Joke, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before, and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell, so you'll know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Batman The Dark Knight Returns. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.